We have seen a continual increase in certain diagnoses in our country, and they do include things like an increased diagnosis of food allergies, increase in autoimmune diseases.
Right.
It is quite shocking when you look at the number of increased diagnoses of autism spectrum disorder. Share with us, just so everyone really pays attention to how things have changed in terms of the diagnosis.
Well, I've been around for a very long time, and when I started working in the field, autism was considered to be a rare disorder. It was considered to occur in like 2 to 4 per 10,000 births. Now the statistic, as you said, is 1 in 59. All right.
Wow.
Now,
so you've gone from 1 to 2 every 10,000.
2 to 4 per 10,000 births to 1 in 59. It started to change dramatically around 1994 when the American Psychiatric Association came out with their Diagnostic Statistical Manual 4, where they broadened the criteria.
So some of this was just before we were probably underdiagnosing. There was an element of that.
Right. The kids were there and they were having issues, but they were getting other diagnoses. That said, the other things that if you think about from a bigger picture, premature babies that would have died are being saved, okay? Pregnancies that would have aborted are being saved, all right? So that we have these other factors that cause developmental disabilities in general.
We still don't know what causes autism. Are we any closer to pinpointing what is the true cause?
There are
a lot of causes.
It's probably, autism is such a heterogeneous disorder, it's gonna have many different causes, okay? And primarily it's thought to be genetic. And the problem with things like allergies, did the fact that the child had autism cause the allergies, or did the allergies cause the autism, okay? It's kind of a correlational study. There is a lot of real scientific research looking at, is the immune system compromised in a subset of children with autism? And that's one of the theories right now, that there is a subset of children who have compromised immune systems, they have allergies, they have epilepsy, and they have a lot of sleep problems. So the research is going toward being able to identify these etiological subgroups and not just autism in general, because we're not going to find that.
Are there any things parents can do to decrease the probability that their child will end up with autism, based on what we know right now?
No.
Okay.
And I think the one thing that's very important for parents is that if they have any concerns about their child, and particularly babies, the earlier we make the diagnosis, the sooner we do the intervention, the better the outcome. And that's the one fact we know. What we don't want is people to go out and get every child tested for food allergies, okay? Because that's gonna cause other issues and may lead to treatments that we know don't work. And there's a lot of these so-called fly-by-night treatments, I guess is the way to say them, on the internet, that like giving enemas.
These are disgusting people who are literally preying upon the fears of parents, or preying upon parents who have children, and they basically steal their money.
Yeah,
and
right.
It's a dangerous game. That's why you need to talk with someone who has dedicated their career to this, because there's so much still unknown. And my question for you before we go to break is, there's all this new research out there, and I can't even believe 10 years ago we didn't talk about the microbiome and gut bacteria, and how gut bacteria is related to all these different things, that including our immune system. And some people said, well, maybe there's a connection between your gut bacteria and your likelihood of developing autism. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think we know the answer to that. The research has been extremely mixed.
Yeah.
There was a study I saw just this morning, actually, that came out in rats. And most of that research now is being done it's animal research. The problem has been people have done elimination diets for children with autism, trying the gluten and casein-free diet. And that can lead to malnutrition in children because they're not getting what they're supposed to be getting, okay? There is one thing, though. I think it's important, in spite of all of this, one of the understudied areas in the field is that people with autism have medical problems. And in treatment, usually we kind of ignore the medical issues and we say it's because of the autism. And I think it's really important that children with autism be evaluated medically. And if you see some change in a child's behavior, that needs to get evaluated medically and not just assume it's a part of the autism.